Hello everyone, welcome back to the video. So today we will be talking about while loops, okay? Today we will be talking about while loops. So in Python, a loop lets you repeat a block of code as long as a certain condition is true, okay? So it's like instructing a robot to perform a task as long as a specific condition is true. And if that condition is no longer true, then the robot will stop doing that given task. Okay, so today we will focus on a type of loop in Python that is called the while loop. Now let's take a look of how we can write a while loop in Python. So all you have to do is to write while, then you write your condition, then put a colon, then inside your while loop you write your statement. Okay, great. So this while over here that you're seeing over here, this is the keyword that starts a loop. Okay, so this is the keyword that starts the loop, and this condition that you see over here, this is an expression that can be true or false. Okay, it's like a question that the loop asks each time it runs. Okay, so each time the loop runs, it will continue to ask this question so as to see whether it's true or false. Okay, and the statement that you're seeing over here, this is the code that will keep on running over and over as long as this condition over here is evaluated to be true. Okay, great. Okay, so let's take a look at an example. Okay, so our example would be something like this: number equals to 1, then we will begin our while loop, of which our condition would be number is lesser than 5, and then inside our while loop we will print our number. Okay, and then after printing our number we will increase the value of number by 1. Okay, great. So this is our program over here, and when we run our program we will get this output over here. Okay, so we get the output of 1 2 3 4. Okay, so what's going on in the program? So we began the program by creating a variable of which we called it number, and we gave our variable the value of 1. Okay, so after creating our variable we created our while loop. So as usual, as you can remember, to begin writing a while loop you must begin with this keyword over here. Okay, and the keyword is while. So this is the keyword that starts the loop. Okay, and after writing your keyword you will write your condition over here, and our condition in our case is number is lesser than 5. Okay, so after that you write a colon, and inside our while loop we want to print our number. Okay, and after printing our number we want to then increase the value of number by 1. So here when the program runs, it will start by checking, okay, we have our variable which is called the number, and our variable has the value of 1 as you can see over here. Okay, great. So moving on to the while loop, it will check, okay, so this is a while loop. Okay, and we have our condition which is number is lesser than 5. Okay, so remember this is a variable that we have created over here. Okay, so the program will take this value over here 1, and then it will put it over here. So the condition will be 1 is lesser than 5. So the program will evaluate this condition. Is 1 lesser than 5? Okay, this condition is true because 1 is lesser than 5. So if this condition is true, it will execute this block of code inside over here. Okay, so the lines of code found inside our while loop is this print number over here, of where we will be printing our current number. So our current number is 1. So the program over here will print 1, okay? Is what you're seeing over here, okay? Here at the output. So after printing 1, there's this line of code over here where we are increasing the value of 1 by 1. So we are basically taking number plus 1, of which in our case, on the first round of this loop over here, number equals to 1, okay? So 1 plus 1, we will get 2, okay? So after finishing this block of code over here, and then because this is a loop, we will continue to round 2, okay? So on round 2, this time the value of number will be 2, because over here, as you can remember, we took 1 plus 1, then we got 2, which is the new value of this variable over here, okay? So on the next round, number will be equals to 2. So again, the program will check the condition. Is 2 lesser than 5? Yeah, this condition is true. And then it will proceed to execute this line of code over here by using the same procedures. So it will print the current number, of which in our case, this time, the current number is 2, as you can see at the output over here, okay? So again, it will print the current number, it will increase the current number by 1. So, and then on the next round, it will check if this condition over here is true, and then it will continue doing the same thing. So, yeah, on the next round, the number will be 3. 3 is lesser than 5. It will print 3. It will increase 3 by 1. So, on the other round, we'll get 4. 4 is lesser than 5, and so on and so on. So, when it reaches 5 over here, so yeah, at the meantime, it will continue printing the value of the current number. So when it reaches to 5, the program will check, is 5 lesser than 5? No, this condition is not true. So the program will stop right there. And as you can see over here, it won't print the value of 5 because this condition will no longer be true. So the program will stop over here, okay? Great. So as we have seen in our previous example, we used this condition over here, which is number is lesser than 5. But you can choose to modify your condition, and let's say you want your condition to be number is lesser than 10, okay? So this time when you run the program, you will get a different output, okay? So the program right now will print 1 up to 9, okay? Because we have changed the condition over here. So the program will continue to use the same logic, okay? So it will continue checking that as long as this condition over here is true, then it will keep executing this block of code over here, okay? So you can also choose to change your condition. Let's say right now we want our condition to be number is lesser than 20. When you run our program, you will keep getting a new output as long as you keep changing your condition over here, okay? So as I said, the program will continue using the same logic by checking if this condition over here is true, then it will execute this block of code over here, okay? And once it reaches the end of this block over here, and then it will begin a new round, okay? So as I said, a round in Python, in loops in general, is what we call iterations, okay? So a round is equal to an iteration, okay? So on the next iteration, it will check if this condition is true, then it will proceed to execute this block of code, okay? Great. Okay, so before we finish up the video, we should take a look at a while loop that runs forever, okay? A while loop that runs forever. So this is a loop that never stops running because the condition will always remain to be true. And this can be useful in many situations, but can also be problematic if not used correctly, okay? If it's not used carefully, okay? So we would write something like this, while, and then we would write our condition, of which our condition will be true this time, and inside our while loop we want to print something like, hey, what's up? Okay, so as you can see, we have our while loop and our condition will be true. So this means that this condition will always be true. So this means that this loop will continue running on and on and on until we manually stop the program. Okay, so let's run the program and see what I'm talking about. So as you can see over here at the console, the program will continue iterating over the loop over and over and over and over again, okay, without ever stopping, because our condition over here is true and our condition will always be true. So the program will keep on running on this loop over and over again, okay, because the condition is true and it will never be false. Okay, so as I said, this can be useful in many situations, but can be problematic if it's not used carefully. Okay, great. Okay, so this is what we call a forever while loop. A forever while loop. Because this kind of loop will keep on running over and over again without ever stopping. Because the condition over here will always be true, regardless. Okay, the condition will always be true regardless. Okay, so you might be asking yourself, how can you break out such kind of a loop? Okay, how can you exit such kind of a loop? Okay, so we would do that by using a break statement. We would do that by using a break statement. So this is how you would use the break statement in your code. All you have to do is to write break, then you're done. Right now when you run your program again, as you can see, the program doesn't produce a new output over and over again. It only produces an output once, because this time our program will check on the first line and see, okay, this is a while loop and our condition over here is true, so this condition will always be true regardless. Okay, so if that condition is true, it will begin executing the code inside the while loop, and then it will print this content over here, hey, what's up? And then after printing hey, what's up, it will come to execute this line of code over here. And on this line of code, it will encounter the break statement. Okay, and on encountering this break statement, the program will immediately stop. Okay, so it's like in a car where when you hit the brakes, the car will stop. So it's similar to our program over here. When our program encounters this break statement, it will immediately stop. Okay, great. So this the break statement is very useful, and it will be very useful when we are creating our future computer vision programs. Okay, because there will be cases where we will use these forever while loops, these infinite loops. Okay, there will be cases where we will use these kind of loops, and we will need to use the break statements so that we can exit out of this kind of situations. Okay, so great. So that's all for this video, and congrats to you for learning while loops. And yeah, we have covered while loops, we have covered the forever while loops, of which is also known as the infinite loops. We have covered about the break statements. So all of these concepts that we have covered today, they're very important to know in building computer vision programs, and also they are very important to know on working with other kind of projects in Python. Okay, so yeah, so I hope this video provided value to you. I hope this video educated you. So stay tuned and see you in the next video, where we will be creating our next computer vision program. Okay, so stay tuned and see you in the next video.